Chances are, if you are a legend with us here at Key Issues, you've probably already seen Spider-Man Far From Home. But this is the internet and this is YouTube, so that being said, there are some spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home in this video, so if you haven't seen it, please come back after you have. During the final minutes of Spider-Man Far From Home, we watch as Peter Parker is able to successfully navigate through the vast landscape of illusions that Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, has put together. Using the powers of the Peter Tingle, aka the Spider Sense, Peter's able to close his eyes and rely on his abilities and senses to take Mysterio out once and for all instead of falling for Mysterio's illusions. Or, I don't know, maybe he didn't. Like, come on. Do we really think that this guy's dead? Like, really? Come on. Am I the only person out there? I know I'm not the only person out there who was watching this and thinking, this guy is definitely not dead. There's like a 0% chance that any of what I'm seeing right now is real. I think it's fairly clear from some of the events at the end of the film that Mysterio is still definitely very alive. Let's look at some of the facts. This film sees Mysterio take control of Edith, an insanely powerful AI that's able to basically control the vast majority of Tony Stark's remaining tech after he died. Tony did leave this AI and its capabilities in Peter Parker's control after he passed away. Considering Peter has been mentored directly by Tony, it makes sense that this type of access and control would be left to him. There was even a very clever joke in the name Edith that it was an acronym for Even in Death, I'm a Hero. However, as we all know, Mysterio manipulates Peter and the rest of the cast into believing that he's the second coming of Iron Man, a hero from another world who's come to Earth to stage pretty much the greatest con job ever pulled. But again, you've probably already seen the movie, you already know this, let's fast forward a little bit to the end of the film. The end of the film sees Peter battling through vast illusions created by Mysterio. Peter's heavily reliant on the Spider Sense in order to determine what's real and what's an illusion, and after defeating Mysterio, we see Peter regain control of Edith. However, it's just another illusion. Peter, using his Spider Sense, is able to stop the final illusion and disarm Beck, who's trying to shoot him in the head. Quentin gives one final, "It's all going black" type speech before he passes away. But that's kind of a crock of shit. Peter regains Edith and Quentin subsequently dies, but Peter does ask Edith if what he's seeing is an illusion, and Edith replies that it's not. However, it's kind of easy to assume that somebody like Quentin could have easily arranged for one final illusion to cover his tracks. Now, how do I know this, or why am I making this assumption? Well, it's actually really simple. The entire first half of the movie set this up. Mysterio didn't need Edith at all to stage any of his original illusions. He only really needed Edith's access for more drones in order to stage the final illusion and do more damage in the city of London due to its vast size and complexity. This means that it's easy to assume that Quentin still had drones outside of Edith's network that he could easily program and use for his own control. Mysterio is definitely smart enough to know that if somehow Peter was able to get Edith back, he would need a backup plan. A few out-of-network drones to help him escape wouldn't be that difficult of a con to pull off, especially considering the highly emotional state that Peter Parker was in at the time. Regaining Edith would put Peter back in control of everything, or at least create an illusion that Peter was back in control of everything, allowing Mysterio to escape using the drones that Peter didn't even remember. The next piece of evidence I'll use is that Quentin's very clever with his choice of pre-death words. Keep in mind, right before Mysterio died, and I'm using air quotes that you can't see, but, trust me, I'm using air quotes right now. Right before he died, he told Peter that he had certain contingencies. The mid-credit scene might actually make you believe that the contingencies that Mysterio was referring to was the message that Mysterio sent to the Daily Bugle, essentially unmasking Peter Parker. But I don't think it's that simple. I think he was referring to a way out, or an escape route. And as I mentioned before, Quentin was a master showman, able to make sweeping changes to his illusions on the fly, as demonstrated during his dress rehearsal run of the attack on London with the rest of his crew. Now, when he realized that he was probably not going to be able to fool Spider-Man anymore with his illusions, he may have quickly altered his escape route using the decoy drones we discussed earlier. Now, personally, I don't think that we've seen the last of Mysterio. I think he was far too compelling of a villain to get rid of in one shot as well, and hopefully we're setting up some type of a Sinister Six scenario in the future for Spider-Man in the MCU. And I think that's one of the things that was positive about Spider-Man Homecoming was that they kept Vulture around, so I think it would be interesting to see Quentin Beck survive this as well, and he could team up with Vulture and help form this MCU Sinister Six. Now, that is about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed Spider-Man Far From Home. I know I did. If you guys have any thoughts about whether or not Mysterio is alive or dead, please drop them down in the comments section. And if you have your own theories, feel free to drop them there as well, where we will steal them and pretend that they were ours all along. This has been Nick with Key Issues. Thank you guys for watching, and remember the motto, Spider-Man over everything.